He just sits there drinking water and hoping to get back in the competition while Bobby Rahal leads with the average speed of 120.540 miles an hour. The top five at this point show Bobby Rahal leading, Mario Andretti second, Danny Sullivan third, fourth Guerrero, and fifth Fittipaldi. Is out of the race. Transmission problems, that is the cause of his problem. And here's how it happened in the North 40.
Bobby Rahal coming around turns 8, 9. He simply pulls to the outside of the racetrack. Suddenly the car will not go in gear, will not perform. There's Danny Sullivan going by. Sullivan knows that this has been given to him at this moment, although Danny, certainly as well as Bobby, were the two drivers, along with Mario Andretti, who really deserved to win this race. Dejections, to say the least, in the pit area. The radios are working. Bobby has told the crew what has happened, and now they have nothing to do except sit here and wait for the final laps of this race to unfold and go out and retrieve their broken race car. They're very disappointed, and Bobby throws his hands up in response to the crowd. You know, Bob, about a year ago, Benny Parsons described this moment as feeling like your dog died, and Bobby Rahal is having one of those moments.
Yeah, Bobby. Right now. And we have two cars that have spun, Garza and Ed Pym, and this is in the corkscrew. Looks like that Ed Pym's car did make contact, at least with the tires.
That's at the top of the hill, Bob.
Yeah, right as you go into the corkscrew.
Yeah, Eddie Pym, you can see some damage to the right front. Josele is already out of the car. Ed Pym is now getting... No, Josele is not out. Ed Pym expressing some disapproval to Mr. Garza. As the Mexican remains in the car, I think he would like to get back out on the course.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he wants him to get that car going again so we can go downhill and let out on the clutch and start the engine again. And some finger shaking going on between Ed Pym and Jose Garza.
Yeah, both of them are expressing the fact that they feel as though they are number one in their respective divisions.
Well, here's a replay of what happened.
Well, you can see it gets narrow and it gets tight in the top of the corkscrew, and those of you who are experienced observers, you can make your own call on that.
Miraculously, though, that has been the only incident that we know of in the corkscrew today. Last year there were several of them, but this year, that one, and we've only got, in fact, less than one lap to go. Bobby Rahal is on.
Set the car up and feel comfortable most of the way around this 5/6 or 1 mile, if you will, oval here at San Air.
Championship Auto Racing teams have signed a 5-year deal, and Danny Sullivan makes a move on Andretti and passes him. We have a change for the lead. Danny Sullivan is back in front, but Michael approaches in turn number 2, but cannot pass him back, and Sullivan remains in the lead. I was saying the Championship Auto Racing
ability to go that distance, so Mario might have to kind of gut it out there at the end.
Michael going for the lead again, and by golly, he gets it in turn number 1 using some slower traffic. As Dennis Firestone, the cars almost touch. Michael Andretti has the lead back in a nice move down the main straightaway going into turn number 1. And if this racing continues, we're going to see a duel to the very finish between Michael Andretti and Danny Sullivan, and the race is now less than 100 laps from its conclusion. Let's take another look at the pass that Michael made going into turn number 1.
Well, we figured that lap traffic would play a role here. There you see Michael. He got a nice bite coming out of turn number 3. He had an opportunity to kind of pitch Danny up high, and he got Danny behind Dennis Firestone, and really the move was pretty smooth and pretty easy, although Dennis didn't realize, I don't think, how close Michael was, and they almost touched.
Evident that Rick Mears is dialing his boost back, Paul. He's obviously a little bit short on fuel.
Bobby Rahal makes his try now. Comes along Rick Mears. Rahal screams off into the first turn, and Rahal is the leader. Mears back to second. Danny Sullivan is third, but Sullivan tries for second. He's alongside Mears. Sullivan now in second place. We're on the Long Pond Straight now. Turn 2 is ahead. It's been a good position for Sullivan as he tries Rahal, and Danny Sullivan passed in turn 2. Sullivan leads.
Another one of his famous turn 2 passes. That guy is amazing. He is absolutely flying.
Remember, this is the
worse than 10th, but here's Mario Andretti currently running in 3rd place. So at the moment, the championship belongs to him. John Paul Jr. works his way past John Morton. John Paul is in 4th, now closing on the 3rd place Andretti. They're on the backstretch. Here comes John Paul past Andretti. They both lose it. They're both spinning. Andretti and John Paul lose it. They don't touch a thing. The rest of the field slows down behind them. Both are under power, and both are underway once again. Andretti saves it gets a bit of a lead on John Paul, but Andretti so very close to losing the championship. There's John Paul Jr. under power.
Oh, that looked almost staged, the way they spun together like that. Let's watch it again in slow motion. Here we see John Paul get up on the bump strips. He evidently touched Andretti. They both spin together, almost in unison. John Paul's car stops there, gets on the outside bump strips. Mario gathers his back up and keeps on going. That was really something.
Perfect synchronization, and neither Andretti nor John Paul lost a place during that spin. And Andretti keeps alive his hopes for the national championship that could have gone away right there.
Now Mario Andretti, he's been ever so careful. Double clutching every shift up and down, taking ever so much care of this race car. A turn to the right, off of the seaside way stretch. The 10th turn, the crowd already going berserk with a victory for Andretti. His second here in Long Beach. He heads for the international hairpin. Listen to the crowd. Andretti accelerates off that last turn. There's the checkered flag for Mario Andretti. 55,000 people cheer for Andretti, his first kart victory at Long Beach.
Well, Paul, I tell you, there's mayhem down in the pits of Mario Andretti right now. Of course, they persevered. They worked so hard last year with a brand new race car. They went home and built a new one this winter. They've done a lot of testing. There you see Carl Haas with the headset. There's even hugging and kissing going on. A whole lot of handshaking, a whole lot of hugging. There's Jack McDonough, one of the sponsors, coming in to greet Paul Newman, and I can tell you it's a wonderful feeling.
We have less than 2 laps to go in the Pocono 500, and this man is the leader. Danny Sullivan. The car is a Lola. It is sponsored by Domino's Pizza, the same people that sponsor this race. As Danny Sullivan comes onto the main stretch, a crowd in front of him. The white flag. Nick Finoro gives it to Danny Sullivan. There is 1 lap to go as Sullivan tries to find racing room between Gordon Johncock and Howdy Holmes. Tony Bettenhausen is in there. John Paul Jr. Sullivan has to spread his way through all of these cars. 1 lap to go for Sullivan. Can he hold on?
Boy, it looks like he can hold on, Paul, but I'm going to tell you something. That was really touchy. He didn't like it going the first turn.
So Danny Sullivan leads. There's the 3rd place car, Bobby Rahal. Rick Mears is now trying to close up on Sullivan. They're going to race right to the finish. Mears behind Sullivan. They head for the 3rd turn. Rick Mears sets him up. Mears comes lower. Sullivan being pushed to a higher line. Now Mears starts to charge. Slower traffic. Chet Phillips just in front of him. Mears gets bottled up behind Phillips, and Danny Sullivan wins the Pocono 500, his 2nd kart victory of his career, and he wins the Pocono 500 as a rookie.
It looks like Bobby Ray.
Where's everybody else in this 500-mile race? Everybody is watching this fight right at the lead. Andretti, Sneva behind him, Scott Brayton in front of him as they come down the backstretch. Andretti comes low, plays it careful behind Brayton. Sneva closes up. Andretti still out in front. Andretti continues to lead the 500 as we are watching the white flag comes out for Mario Andretti. Now Sneva closes up. This is where it tells. Scotty Brayton is right in front of Andretti. Andretti closes down on top of Sneva, shuts the door on him. Scotty Brayton surely knows that the leaders are coming behind him. Less than 2 miles to go now. Now just at 1 mile to go. Down the backstretch. Here is Andretti. This is where the race was decided last year. What will happen here in '84? Andretti down through turn 3. Through turn 3, through turn 4. Sneva's trying him on the inside. An accident on the backstretch. An accident on the backstretch. As they come to the line, they'll see the yellow flag and the checkered flag. And Mario Andretti appears to win the race, but boy, it was close. It was close with an accident on the backstretch at the same time, similar to last year. That was Pancho Carter flipping down the backstretch. Andretti's crew set. Back at the front of the field, it is Tom Sneva continuing his fight with Al Unser Sr. Sneva smokes the brakes. Big Al moves to the inside. Another chance for Big Al to take the lead. It's a drag race toward the backstretch. Big Al moves up now, has a wheel inside Sneva. They touch. Big Al off the course. Sneva fights for control. Al slams the barrier. Garza gets past. Little Al gets past. Andretti comes through. But Big Al's day is over. Tom Sneva Sneva was able to keep that car under control and keep it pointed straight. But Big Al slides off the course. He was trying to pass Sneva, but couldn't get it done.
Boy, that looked like it was inevitable, Paul. You can see here, is watching the replay, Al's on the inside. Sneva just closes the door on him. Al had nowhere to go. He spun off of the course, hit the crash barrier, tore off the wing, and the wheels are bouncing everywhere. Al was very, very fortunate that he didn't get around and get in the other way.
Big Al Unser made his best effort at getting past Sneva. There's the mark of his right front wheel on the side of Sneva's car. And here is one furious Al Unser Sr. as he points his finger at Tom Sneva. You did it, and you know what you did. Sneva simply closed the door down on Al Unser. He did continue in the lead and continue with his chances for the championship. Mario Andretti is still...
The kart starter, there it is. The white flag is out. Rick Mears has less than a mile to go, and the Dana Rex Mays 200 will be his. Tom Sneva is down in turn number 1. There is Rick now at the end of the backstretch. He made up 2 seconds.
And Rick is broken. He is broken.
Is slowing dramatically in turn number 3.
This could be side by side.
I still don't think Tom is going to win it. And Rick, yes, Rick is slowing. Rick is slowing. He's coming into the pits, and Tom Sneva is going to win the race on the last lap. There's a checkered. Sneva wins.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? He's going to finish
here, crossing the start-finish line. There is no power in that car. Unbelievable. Tom Sneva makes us all liars and wins this race.
And there is the dejection on the part of the Penske crew and Roger Penske, I'm sorry. They had it in their grasp. There's Danny Luganbuehl, their PR man. It was their win right up to the final turn, but the engine just wouldn't go 200 complete laps. It went about 199 3/4 laps. We did say that if Rick stays out there, I might add, that there wasn't enough time. Tom Sneva going by, Rick Mears limping down the backstretch. Rick may not even get all the way around. I think he has come to a stop. There he is in turn number 2. So the man who was just 30 to 45 seconds from victory lane and the accolades of hundreds is now alone on the backstretch with 3 safety crewmen.
There are new promoters here at Milwaukee, the Jufrey brothers, and their slogan for the weekend is, let's put fun back in racing, and they have done it. Here is Rick Mears slowing in the 4th turn. He was that far away from a win. Tom Sneva on the accelerator, passing and going on to victory.
Well, it's Tom